Trust me, this is not clickbait. There are cities here in Maine, although some of you might find this video to be a joke because if you come from any area of the country in a city that's a decent size, yeah, you might be bigger than the biggest city here in Maine, but there are cities here in Maine. So the difference between cities and towns here in Maine is really kind of entertaining because there are really tiny towns without even a traffic light. But then there's also like Portland that has, buildings and a skyline and all that kind of stuff. It's really size, just like anywhere else. Cities bigger, towns smaller, but here in Maine it can get really small, so it's kind of entertaining to talk about this. But there are some cities here in Maine, and we're going to talk about each of those areas where there are cities. So Maine actually does have like a legal distinction between cities and towns, but compared to a lot of other states, there really aren't many cities here. Now, if you're curious about moving to Maine and looking to move to one of the cities, I am a real estate broker, so if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out. We also are going to probably answer a lot of questions in this video, but again, comment below, let us know, and we're happy to help you out anytime. And of course, remember to subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notified when new videos come out. We do one of these about once a week, and we really appreciate you watching, so thank you. So the first city that we're going to talk about is the biggest city here in Maine, and it's Portland. Portland is, like I said, it's the largest city. It's known for like a really vibrant art scene. It's a foodie town, so there's a lot of great restaurants, great coffee shops, a lot of great shops. It's very cool. And there's some great like areas, like residential areas, even once you get off of like the peninsula, we call it, where there's lots of like the old port and downtown and all that stuff. Once you get out of there, there's some great residential areas. It's where there's a little bit of a skyline there. So if you're out walking on the Back Bay Trail, you get to get a great view of the skyline. When you're driving through it on 295, you get a great view of the skyline, and it's really very, very pretty. Again, it's not huge, so depending on what area of the country you're in, Portland's around like 70 to 80,000 people. It's not a huge city, but it does have like that little bit of a feel. Like if you're looking for the city life, you can get that in Portland and enjoy it for sure. The next one up that we want to talk about is kind of like Twin Cities, Lewiston, Auburn. Lewiston and Auburn, that sometimes we call it LA as locals. It's the Maine version of LA. It's kind of like centrally located. If you're looking at the state, it's a little bit still kind of southern Maine, but central in the state. There's a college there, Bates College. We've done some videos about that. A lot of great like community events, some really great culture there in Lewiston, Auburn area, and it is fairly populated. Not a huge skyline, but there is a little bit of one. It's a great area, very sprawling, and it's got really some great character to that area. Next up, we'll go a little bit further north. Bangor, once again, centrally located, but also easy access to like down east, and it's kind of like that last bigger city in Maine, so to speak, that when you're heading up to the northern half of Maine. I've actually spent a lot of time in Bangor when I first moved here. My father lived in that area, so I spent a lot of time up there. Stephen King is up there. It's really cool to drive by his house and check that out. Bangor State Fair is there. They got lots of great festivals going there. They got a great like music venue too, which is really kind of nice up there, that we go up there from time to time to see concerts and things like that. A really cool city. There is actually a little bit of a skyline in Bangor too, so you got that little bit of urban feel. If you're heading up to the northern portion of Maine, it's a cool town. We also have on here South Portland. It's the neighboring city in Portland. Great shopping centers, a lot of like commercial activity. I really like South Portland because it's got like some marinas there, some commercial business in the water frontage, and then you kind of go out towards like the mall is there, stuff like that. Not much of a skyline or anything. Everything's pretty much, flat there. You can, like if you're over in Portland, of course, you go over the bridge, you got the view of South Portland. So not much of a skyline, but some lighthouses on the water frontage and stuff like that. And a SMCC is there. So some great things happen in South Portland. Check out those videos as well. I want to touch on some smaller cities, but are still classified as cities here in Maine. Saco and Biddeford, again, are kind of like, twin cities, so to speak. Saco has a great mix of a lot of residential area and some commercial area kind of running right through the middle of it. Great waterfront community in Saco. They got some great like attractions like Fun Town, Splash Town, and Aquaboggin are some great amusement parks to go check out. So very cool Saco area there. And then there's Biddeford, historically a mill town, growing art scene. We've done a lot of videos on Biddeford because we're a big fan of Biddeford. They're doing a lot of revitalization there. You know, some great like new developments, new like mill buildings being converted into condos, and the downtown area is really great. There's some great parks in Biddeford, and the waterfrontage is nice. They go down to an area called Biddeford Pool, which is some really great waterfrontage as well. Another like smaller city is Sanford. It's over on the western side of Maine. It's a very friendly community. It's a growing downtown area. You know, a lot of great like parks and recreational activities. It's kind of one of those where it's like a city, but you really also get a real good rural feel out there, which is really kind of nice to enjoy western Maine and still have, you know, the amenities of being in a city. Again, if you are looking to move here to Maine and you're like thinking about choosing one of these cities, let us know if you have any questions, because there are advantages to being in a city, really anywhere. Obviously, you have amenities, whether it's healthcare, education, job opportunities, things like that. And it also gives you that, you know, if you're in a rural area of Maine and you just want to like a taste of the city life and not have to go too far, Portland's a great city to kind of check in. Just curious, which do you prefer? Do you prefer city or town? Will you comment below? Let me know. I'm just really curious. I want to see what everybody thinks. And remember, if you make Maine your home, you don't have to do it alone. Hey, come here. Hey. YouTube thinks you're going to like one of these videos, so click on it and let me know what you think. And remember, come back again soon because we do a video every Friday.